and Instagram as well. Okay, you ready?
All
Feeling
good.
Okay, it should be fine.
Really good.
Have a breather. Let's go. So, recording. Welcome, everybody, to Kiwiradio.nz, your weekly showcase of what's new, what's indie, what's alternative, coming from New Zealand, a population of 5 million, but a bunch of creatives down here. So, yeah, sit back, relax for the next hour as we showcase some music. We actually have country pop singer Murphy Moore in the green room right now, and she'll be doing a 3-song set. But first of all, we're going to do a bit of a nod to the previous artist we had in the last episode. I think we're up to 120 episodes right now. So if you want to rewind the time machine, it's all there on the front page of Kiwi Radio. We had the ambassadors of Club Ruby last week, and they've got some pretty fun shows. They're secretly a musical, apparently, and this is a brand new song from them called Dear Diary. You're locked into Kiwiradio.nz this evening, simulcast on upfm.co.nz. Don't go anywhere.
Don't know if my body is a temple or a prison. All I know is I don't wanna be here. It's not where I'm currently living. So I'll starve myself until I disappear. But it just makes the cat calls worse. And the fetishization of me existing. Dear Diary! And how does that make you feel? Terrible. Fucking paralyzed. I don't even know where to start. Let's try a new technique this week. Have you ever tried to gamify your life? Well, I guess I can give it a go. I'm gonna gamify my life so I don't gotta do it twice. I'm gonna gamify my life. I'm gonna gamify my life. I'll make the choice feel kinda nice. I'll get a sticker every night. Dear Diary! Dear Diary, no matter how to breathe, going to the toilet, second time, I'm so suffocating. In my head, I can't seem to get out of bed. Dear Diary, full of anxiety, trying to run it and repeat to make it all okay. Not today, at least pretend that everything's going my way.
Kiwiradio.nz, that is a bit of Club Ruby for you. They also released a video game to go with the new album, so that's good fun if you're a gamer. I am one for sure. But yeah, Murphy Moore is here this evening. Check her out at murphy-moore.com. That's double O. She's also on Instagram.com/Murphy Moore, and those two O's have been converted to double zeros just for the continued edge. Let's see who's in the chat as well. We have Daniel just joining us on Instagram. How are you doing it, Daniel? Remember, you can always message the show during this live stream. You can go to youtube.com/@Kiwiradio.nz, or you can also call in. Sometimes we get callers phoning the landline on 0988985555. Do what you want, or just sit back, relax, and discover some cool music. Murphy Moore is in the house. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Yeah, loud and clear. How's things?
Things are good. Things are ticking along.
Now, where are you beaming from in our little country of New Zealand?
I'm based in Auckland now. I've been here for almost 3 years. But I originally grew up in the deep south, further south than Christchurch. Most people go Christchurch and that's it. In a little town called Gore. So that's where I hail from originally.
Well, if you're ever up in the North Shore, make sure to message me. We do have a little comfy studio here where we've had live guests in the past, including Jenny Smith, who's also into country. So the invitation's there. It's just I'm short on time these days, though. My day job is ramping up with clients, so I'll squeeze some time. But at the moment, I say I have a open door policy. If you're super talented, like 10 out of 10, like Murphy Moore, Tuesdays you can pop in while I'm doing the show if you want and sing a live song. But you're here now anyway, so how you doing? How's your music going in 2024?
It's honestly been so cool. Like, music has been something I've wanted to do. It's always been a part of my life, but something that I wanted to pursue properly for a very long time. And I just always put it on the back burner, Like you were saying, like your job's been busy, and that's just like life. Like, I feel like everyone has a really similar kind of story, and it's certainly been mine where other things have gotten in the way, and about next year, next month, whatever. But I really said to myself at the beginning of this year, no, I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna choose some of the songs I've written, get them recorded, and put some juice behind it and see what happens. And it's been so fun. Like, truly, it's been just
awesome.
really, really fun. Like, the music scene is vibrant in New Zealand. It's really exciting.
Yeah, find the time, all you creatives listening in. I mean, that just goes back to this morning. I'm also a bit of I dabble in country, and I was working on a new sort of like Elvis Presley inspired country song. The lyrics had been sitting there for ages, but finally the backing track just kind of came along, and I was doing a vocal take while my son was watching DVDs in the background. He was watching Paw Patrol, and I was like, "Hey, dude, I'm about to drop a take. Can you put on some headphones?" And he did. So you just got to find the time. Paw
Patrol just needs to wait 1 minute.
Find the time. That's awesome. Now, Break the Line is kind of your new release, but we're going to start off with that if you're all right.
Yeah.
We're a storytelling podcast, so we'll get you to start chatting about your songs, what they're all about, where they come from, all that. So Break the Line is the first track.
Is I wrote this back in 2020, and which feels like a lifetime ago now. And I was just, this is such a, common story, but I was just feeling so cooped up and so over my life as it was at that point, just sick of that same routine. And I wrote this song about exactly that, wanting to break out and break from the line that I felt that I was living in at the time. And so it was kind of this fantasy song about running away with someone you love and not having a place to go, not knowing where you're going to be the next day, but just following a feeling or following a rush. And I was craving that so bad at the time. And so this was kind of this escapism and way of me trying to communicate that. And every time I hear it, it's obviously very special to me, but I hope it evokes some kind of fun and playfulness in people that listen to it. Just, let's go, who cares? Don't ask too many questions. Just get up and go.
Yeah, spices the variety of life, right? So my day job's actually working with empowering disabled clients to live a full life. And I know exactly what you mean so I know what you mean when it's like, find the spontaneity, don't always, follow the norm or the followed path or the safest path even, and just kind of yeah. So you think back to recently in your life, what's been something spontaneous that you've done and not regretted at all?
I feel very lucky, but I mean, I'm someone that gets itchy really fast and really quick. You know, that if I'm in the same routine for too long, I just don't feel like myself. So I have a lot of hobbies, and I need lots of hobbies. So I work in the dance industry, teach a lot. Also work in the fitness industry, and then obviously music's a big part of my life. But recently, I was complaining about, I'm just, been working head down for a really long time. Feel like I haven't come up for air. So I actually booked feel really lucky. I went on an international holiday, but I booked it 15 days before going, which for most people would feel like, what do you mean you're going away for a while? And might be something that they plan out and, make sure everything's organized and pre-booked. But I just booked my ticket. I was like, I'll figure out the rest. I just need to. I went to Italy, Croatia, and Greece, and it was just absolute bliss. I hadn't been before, so
I've been to all three. I love Greece.
What was your favorite?
Greece.
Really? Yeah.
Because I'm a water baby. I live near the beach, so I'm naturally a water baby.
Live your best mermaid life.
Yeah, it's exactly it. I am a merman for sure. Going back to the Zoolander quote right there. That's awesome, though. 14 days.
Yeah, it was so nice. I feel really lucky.
What's in your go bag then? I mean, that's not a lot of time to kind of prepare, really. What was your essentials?
A
guitar?
Yeah, I've got my packing down. No, I missed it so much, though. I really missed having my guitar. I didn't really realize how much you just kind of get up and tinker away.
That was one of my essentials. I took a little Maton Mini to my European tour, and I just remember going to Ireland and singing with the Irish on our tour bus. Living the best day, living the best life for sure. But
that's so great.
So no guitar. But what about like voice memos while you were on the go? Were you inspired on seeing everything?
I have this funny thing, and it's always been the case for me. And then I was thinking about why this is the way I am, and I'll explain soon. But for whatever reason, when I'm on planes, I feel really inspired and really creative. And so the poor people always sitting next to me must think I'm absolutely crazy, because I'll pull out my phone and bring it up to my mouth and sing a little voice note that I've got, or a little tune I've got stuck in my head. And so my voice notes are just full of these little melodies. But yeah, I write a lot on planes. And then sometimes they evolve into full songs, sometimes not. But I think it's because, and this has changed now a little bit, but on a plane, you've got no Wi-Fi, no reception. And so it's just this uninterrupted time, which we don't often have in everyday life anymore. And I think that's why I feel quite creative on a plane, is because I don't have, blinking notifications every 10 seconds or people sending me emails or following things up. So I just have freedom to explore my mind, which is really freeing.
There's something freeing about sort of living in the spaces in between of a busy hustle.
I love that. I love that. That's so nice.
Poet, don't you know it?
So look at you go.
Did I mention I wrote songs? No. But anyways, with these my peacock feathers coming out. But yeah, for sure. I'm the same, like 3 a.m., that's so quiet, and then the words just pour out. That's awesome. Let's break into some music with a song called Break the Line with Murphy Moore from New Zealand, originally from Gore and now living in the Big Smoke, Auckland. Be sure to catch you up at a gig. Maybe we'll talk gigs next as well, if you're okay with that. But yeah, Murphy Moore, sit back, relax. We're here till 8. You're listening to Kiwiradio.nz.
Pack a bag, my love, we'll leave in the morning. Tell your family you'll call them each day. Don't ask me just where we're going. We'll make it up along the way. 'Cause I'm tired of these faces. With closed eyes, they tell me to open mine. And I have a need to not know where I'll be tomorrow. And I have a feeling you might be the same. So tell me, do you like to live your life one day at a time? But take my hand, don't look back, we'll break the line. The Trans-Siberian Railway is waiting. Have you been to Cappadocia at sunrise? 'Cause all of this is ours for the taking. We can call it home wherever we like. 'Cause I'm tired of these faces. With closed eyes, they tell me to open mine. And I have a need to not know where I'll be tomorrow. And I have a feeling you might be the same. And tell me, do you like to live your life one day at a time? Take my hand, don't look back, we'll break the line. And I've always been the kind of person who builds a plane as they learn to fly. Baby, we don't need a reason or permission to change the story we didn't even write. I don't wanna know where I'll be tomorrow. And I have a feeling you might be the same. Tell me, do you like to live your life one day at a time? Oh, take my hand, don't look back, we'll break the line. Oh, we'll break the line. Break the line, break the line, break the line.
Break the Line by Murphy Moore. What a singer, mate. That's vocal cords of yours are on fire. Who is your vocal coach? Tell me the secrets of the trade.
Oh, I'm very lucky. I've had some amazing vocal coaches in my time. But fun fact for anyone out there who's like, oh, I'm too late to start music, or it's too late to start learning. It's not. I feel like I started so late. And yeah, have just fallen in love with it. But yeah, I go to an amazing woman called Cherie Moore, and then Bex Wright as well is an amazing vocal coach here in Auckland. Both amazing women.
Mm-hmm. Even Michael Jackson kept a vocal coach up, and he's on fire. Been singing with the Jackson 5 since 5 years old. And
Yeah, really
that.
wow.
Yeah, for sure. He
Still going.
watched that documentary. He's like, yeah, I've always kept a vocal coach around, and yeah, it kind of brings you back to earth, and
I love that.
yeah, it keeps.
Sometimes it's not even about the skill, right? But just like someone to motivate you, like, yeah, let's try and push this a little bit further to a new height, or just some reassurance, like, yeah, keep going. Sometimes it's why I go. I'm like, otherwise it can be quite solo, you know.
Now, if music came later to you, as you mentioned, as part of your journey, what kind of fired you up? Was there an event in your life?
Maybe not an event as such, but it's always been a part of my life. I have quite a musical family, so music was always emphasized and encouraged for sure around the home. My dad's a drummer. All of my sisters and I sing and play instruments. And my oldest brother, who had probably the most influence on me, he studied music at university and then went on to play a lot and write a lot. And I was around him when he was going through this, and I just thought it was amazing. And but I had kind of other artistic passions that maybe took the limelight first. So I went and studied dance for a few years,
Love
and that
it.
has been my main jam. But yeah, recently there's just been this kind of scratch and this thought, like, what would happen if I gave music the love that I feel like it deserves, and this fire. I'm like, I need to pursue that and give it some time. And so that's been me for the last couple of years. I've really tried to hone the craft a bit more, and yeah, I've really loved it. It's been so fun. It's so nice learning as an adult, I feel.
Yeah. Never too late to learn. I remember as a kid, I used to draw comic books. I was actually reading one of them to my son the other day. Full on comic book
Oh,
story
what a
and
nice
everything.
full circle moment.
Yeah, so cool, eh? And I really kind of want to get back into painting or something like that. And I know there's an art center nearby, but for sure, right? Definitely when I'm retired, that's like a definite go. That's where I'll be, like just painting.
I mean, you've got your hands full with a 3-year-old and
Yeah.
full-time jobs and music
Yeah.
and
But once I'm
painting squeeze in there somewhere.
I think life is a little bit like a U curve, like at the start of life, you have all this time with no money, and hence the creative outlet comes. And then in the middle, you've got all this money with no time, and it goes full circle again. When you're retired, you've got all this time again, and maybe some money
It's so
left. I don't know.
true. That's so true, because at the moment, and I feel like most adults are the same, it's not the lack of inspiration or want to go and learn a new hobby or give more time.
Yeah.
It's just the time,
Yeah.
trying to fit it into our crazy schedules.
Yeah. Speaking of time schedules, that's a good way to kind of segue into the next song. It's called For the Most Part. So my question to you is, think of your weekly kind of average. For the most part, what are you doing that's not music and dance and fitness you mentioned? Is there anything else to uncover? For example, are you a bit of a whiz in the kitchen?
I like cooking, but I don't think it's not I don't look forward to cooking and or baking or anything like that. It's definitely a means to an end, and I try and make it as fun as I can, but it is still for me like a means to an end.
In that
and
case,
often
just
now,
go with
because
pizzas, kind of creative outlet still, whatever, chuck it in there.
just quick, easy. If it's got like less than 5 steps, I'm
for
keen.
sure.
Like, this is a recipe that I will keep.
Well, anyways, let's go to your next song. Maybe you want to explain this one if you can.
Yeah, so this one is a soft ballad, and it's probably my favorite song out of the 3 that we're gonna play tonight. And I think everyone can relate to this feeling. I wrote this after a pretty heavy breakup, and I'm one of those people that likes to try and pull it all together and like, no, I'm good, I'm fine, don't worry about me, just how are you? And I had loads of friends, how are you, what's going on, are you okay, what do you need? And I just tried to put on this mask of like, I'm actually really good. No, I'm not hurt at all. I'm not struggling at all. Everything's fine. But, deep down, it was a completely different story. So that's what the song is about, is kind of, struggling to be honest with the people around you about how you're really feeling and what you're going through. And then also, watching the other person move on and grow without you and trying to cope with that. So that's what really inspired the song.
I just had a coaching session with a psychiatrist today, which reminded me of the 4 coping stresses. There's like 4 stages to stress, and I think a lot of people fall into that second one where they're like stressed but coping, and it's kind of, for me. I think catching it early is actually quite good. So you've taken that, put it into a song, mixed it up like an awesome audio recipe, and we're about to listen to it right now. We're so special here at Kiwi Radio. Murphy Moore is in the building. How did we connect again? Sometimes I'm always lining up guests each week. Was it through Jenny Smith? Because I feel like country scene should know each other really well.
I think that's definitely how I found you guys.
Right. Okay.
Is that I saw her post and I was like, oh, awesome! Like, can't wait to listen to that. And then gave you guys a follow. And then I think we just connected, as many people do these days, on social media.
Cool. Hey, by the way, if you're listening to this, when she says you guys, Kiwi Radio is actually one person behind the scenes.
you
I'm
guys.
doing the programming. I used to actually work for a TV station, so this is how I know what to do. And I used to work for an FM station too. I used to be one of the techs in the background. And so I went from the background to the foreground now. So I'm like a presenter, the tech guy, the this and that. And I
all
felt
the
like
hats.
the actually been doing radio, as a volunteer of FM station, by the way. I used to get free tickets. That was my koha. I
Wow.
used to go to all these festivals and meet the celebrities, that kind of thing. So it was still fun. It was one of my first jobs at high school. But then, it's just one guy, guys. Don't be, it's no smokes and mirrors here at Kiwi Radio. But thank you.
All you.
I
in the hard yards.
yeah, all
See,
me.
I was so convinced it was guys because there's, doing such a great job.
Thank you very much. I do highly lean on the a little bit of AI as such, not too much, but to kind of lift, carry the weight a little bit, especially with the radio programming stuff. So anyways, let's not go down that rabbit
Got
hole.
to use what's available, but yeah.
Pretty much. I'd love to have a full staff on board, but literally, Kiwi Radio is a passion project. We don't profit from your art, but we do love the community. It's all about the community. And it's had such a great time. There's been a few highlights in the show, actually. We've interviewed Tadpole, Rumbus, and if I'm rattling off these bands and you don't know, that is showing my age, but they're from the 90s. Brilliant. Chef's kiss. Anyways, Murphy Moore is one of the new gens, and we're very excited to have you in the hot seat tonight. So it's all about you. For the most part, let's get on with the show. God, my segues are getting worse each day. Kiwi Radio, Murphy Moore in the building, and we'll be right back. But Murphy, can you give me a quick yes or no? I've kind of, speaking of spontaneous, you've kind of inspired me a little bit because I was working on that Paw Patrol song today, and I feel like it's finished, but also at the same time, I don't like to overthink art because there's paralysis in the analysis. Is that the thing? Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, it's definitely a thing.
Do you want to hear it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is the right time. Yeah, it should be heard.
This is the right moment too, to kind of test it out. I feel like we're a little bit of a boutique club here at Kiwi Radio. You know how artists kind of sometimes they like plug the show, but sometimes they're like, "Ooh, we're the dirty girlfriend secret." So I feel like it's kind of like that. I feel like it's the perfect audience, to test out material. So thank you. You've inspired me to be spontaneous. I'm
excited. I'm excited.
I was going to film like a homemade video first and then put it out. I've actually been.
I feel like it's so easy, like you said, to like overthink everything, and then sometimes it's just, you just got to put it out there and see what happens.
For sure. And I've been crazy this week, and finding the time to do 2 remixes, one for Jenny Smith and another guy for Josh Lees. Josh Lees, who's like the Justin Timberlake guy. I've known him since audio school. We used to go to audio school, and it's been. Do you find that for you as well as a creative, when it rains, it pours? Like, do you have those moments of creativity?
100%. And there is no way of controlling it. You can't, you can't hone every idea when it comes, and they just flood in. And then other times, like, wow, I've got so much time.
So much drought.
It'd be really cool to sit down and write and, explore some of these ideas, and then nothing happens.
Maybe we can explore that a little bit too, as 2 co-writers side by side and have a little bit of a discussion on that, because I find that there's one song called Baby Love Hurts Once You Were Made for Me, but those days are gone, yes, my happiness you keep. That song was sitting in the desktop for like 10 years before I put a backing track to it. And then there's other times I did like a souvenirs, as your souvenir. Oh yeah, it's talking about my heart as a souvenir. And that whole EP, 5-song EP, came in like a week. So where are you?
That's crazy.
What's going on, Muse? Like, I just don't understand.
I know.
However, going back to you, I feel like my peacock feathers sometimes come out. But going back to you, like, has what you've mentioned this is your favorite song. Did this one come in a dream? Did this like what happened? For the most
This
part,
one
we're talking
did,
about.
but not a dream, but this one did like just pour out. And there was no like, there's parts that I'm like, oh, I wish maybe I could have written that better, or that could have flown better in terms of, music or chords. But I didn't change it because it felt so wrong to change it, because it was almost like a feeling. It just came out of me, and then I was like, that's it. That's how it is. We're not changing anything. And it wasn't until I came to record it that I maybe doubted, like, oh, should I change that lyric, or would that sound better? Or but I thought, actually, we do that so much as artists. Like, we doubt, and it just felt wrong to change anything. So I left it as it was. But yeah, not a dream as such, but definitely like this flying feeling. Like, I think I wrote the song within like half an hour, sitting at the piano, and then done.
It's interesting,
and it was a really like
Yep.
cathartic feeling. I was like, that's good to have it out.
It's interesting being a music consumer, if that's even a tagline. Most people listen to music. I mean, I had one client today saying he doesn't even like music, like it literally physically hurts his ears.
What?
Yeah, well, he's autistic.
Whoa.
He's got autism as well as some other mental health stuff. But so I don't know if it's linked to a past trauma or such. So
the sensory.
Yeah. There's But anyways, in saying that, there's like hyper and hyposensitive things. So audio music can actually physically hurt some people. So, which is strange to hear from me, because I've got the opposite. When I hear music, I'm like, it's healing. It's this, it's that. But yeah, it just reminds me, is it like music consumer? I was friends with and still am friends with a guy who played bass on my records. I met him on my UKOE. And he was talking about, he's always on tour, by the way. He's like Coldplay, Rolling Stones, all this. He's like the backline guy. He works for an agency and stuff. And he was saying that Temper Trap, who are friends of his, you know that song Sweet Disposition? Sweet Disposition.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, the story with that is they actually had a New Zealand Australia version, right? So kind of like an early demo. It was released to this region. And because it did so well, they actually redid it for the US market. So there was like the early release, and then and this is like 4 years later too. So 4 years later, they redid the whole thing. And now we hear the final mix that's everywhere as well. But before that, they had another mix which got pulled by the record label. So you won't be able to find it now. But they started off with that and saturated the local market there. So I feel like,
oh my goodness, I'm so curious to hear the original version now.
Well, you're not going to find it because it's been pulled. But that's the story. That's the story, and this is kind of before they, reach critical limit, right? Before they. So it's interesting that too. So this is why I'm about to play you the latest world-breaking country song, because we're just going to pull it. If it does something, great. If it doesn't, then it's out. So I'm glad we've kind of shared that common bond and I'm glad you're in the same headspace too, where paralysis is overanalysis, because I have worked with like musicians before who, go to Roundhead and spend thousands of dollars, and then they overthink it and they actually never release it too, which is interesting.
That's another really common thing, hey, is like they sit on it for a while and you almost get used to the version that you've created. Yeah. And it's so easy to go, it's not good enough.
And there's that fear barrier too. Yeah. There's that fear barrier saying it's not good enough. Oh, maybe I won't release it. And it's like that. There is so much great music in New Zealand as well that never kind of go out because the artist themselves is like traumatized to release it, essentially, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's a kind of interesting thing when you not always trying to monetize, but for the most part people are, your art, which is your kind of thoughts and feelings in a way, and that can become really scary and quite personal. But yeah, I'm a big believer in just do the thing. Just do the thing, put it out there and see what happens.
Speaking of, I want to say hello to Madeline. Nick is in the chat as well as Damien. It wasn't Daniel, it was Damien. I'm losing my sight here. But anyways, Murphy Moore is in the building. You can check out her. Let's chat on the tail end of the song because we've nailed the storytelling part. By the way, you'll do great in America audiences because I've been told that, when you go to an American country show, it's like 5% music. It's like just basically, it's like stand-up comedy essentially.
Oh, really?
No, I'm over exaggerating.
Does that mean you think I'm funny? No.
No, well, not funny, but interesting, right? It's nice to have a storytelling podcast. I always mention that to artists. It's like, we'll play your music, but we want to talk to you, and you do really well in that.
That's part of the music, right? It's like, what's it about? How did this come about? Yeah.
Well, anyways, Murphy Moore is in the building at Kiwiradio.nz. Remember, we are simulcast on a second station here, upfm.co.nz. That's the FM station I was telling you about earlier. We used to, do all sorts of events and stuff, and kind of pulled back in the sense because of funds. But anyways, we're still kicking it. So upfm.co.nz is an all dance station, all spectrum. So you're talking techno, trance, drum and bass. If you like that kind of stuff, turn off George, go to UpFM. It's way better and less ads too. But Murphy Moore is our wonderful singer-songwriter tonight, country, pop, whatever you want to call it. You can check it out at Murphy-Moore with 2 O's, Murphy-Moore.com. It's Murphy-Moore.com. And the track we'll play for you right now, it's been a big kind of build-up, but that's going to be good. For the most part is the song. Back in a few minutes, we do have one more song to showcase for you this evening. Keep it locked.
It's been a year now, I'm doing much better. Heard you moved into your new house near the airport with her. I remember when you said you didn't like the sound of planes, but I guess so much has changed. I always knew it'd be hard to forget. Oh, but I never could have anticipated this. For the most part, I'm okay. I have good days, yes, I'm okay. Tell my friends nothing has changed. I'll hold no blame, I'm still the same. Then I see you doing so fine. Within no time, you're gone, you're done, you moved on. I don't wanna think about you, but I still do. I still do. Thought I'd be fine by now, living a life without you. But I guess there are still ties I'm learning to sever. When I run into your friends and they tell me how you've been, sounds like you got the life you always wanted. I always knew you'd be hard to forget. Oh, but I never could have anticipated this. For the most part, I'm okay. I have good days, yes, I'm okay. Tell my friends nothing has changed. I'll hold no blame, I'm still the same. Then I see you doing so fine. Within no time, you're gone, you're done, you moved on. I don't wanna think about you, but I still do. I still do. See you putting that heart of yours, not a scar, not a break, not a hole. Maybe you can lend me a needle from mine. See most part. For the most part. For the most part, I'm okay. I have good days, yes, I'm okay. Tell my friends nothing has changed. I'll hold no blame, I'm still the same. Then I see you doing so fine. Within no time, you're gone, you're done, you moved on. I don't want to think about you. But I still do. It's been a year now, I'm doing much better.
Watch out, that is the next Titanic theme there. The inner Celine Dion comes out. Murphy Moore, congratulations. I'm a secret, like, romantic kind of thing when it comes to, like, mushy songs, and I feel like that's that. So, yeah, well done.
Oh, thank you. I'm a sucker for a good ballad.
Yeah, me too, right? Yeah. I
Like,
especially
it's
like
the perfect thing when you're feeling the feels, you know. Put it on loud.
You know that "Singing in the Stars." You know who sings that? You know those kind of romantic kind of melodies. Just it's a bit of a inner kick. Anyways, role reversal now, Murphy. Are you ready? Because you're about to be the host of Kiwi Radio, and because I'm going to be spontaneous. I'm going to be spontaneous, and now I'm the artist, and I don't do this often, by the way. Maybe once every 40 shows, I kind of play one of my tracks. So I'm excited. I'm feeling excited because I feel kind of good about it. The song's been there for years, right? And then finally I had a moment and it just kind of came together. And so the song is called Value. Oh, wait, anyways, no, you're the host. Tell me what the song is about.
Let me introduce it. What's the song
You've got to say this Kiwiradio.nz and you're the host.
Okay. Yeah. This is Kiwi Radio. You're here with Murphy Moore, but we're about to hear the incredible, incredible latest tune from Ralphe.
You've got a British twang there. I love that. That's going to go out. Okay. Oh. Hi. Hey, everyone. I'm Ralphe. Yeah, so this is my new song, Value of a Moment. And I'm a secret fan of Elvis Presley. So I love the whole formula of 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Because, you know, if you listen to like lots of 50s music, it was that, you know, they just had it. They went in, they went out. They didn't overstay their welcome. So you're going to hear a 2 minutes, 16 second song. You feeling ready for this, Murphy?
We're ready. Is our audience ready? I hope they are.
So it's called Value of a Moment. It's basically about valuing a moment, like now. Like, do you find, going back to you, Murphy, that sometimes people or characters enter your life? It could be short bursts, it could be long bursts, but let's stick to the short format. And then they say like one or two things. I've had these encounters before, especially, you know, live music scene and stuff. And it kind of sticks with you forever, like even though you met them once, right? Have you had those moments?
Oh, absolutely. And like sometimes I catch myself, I'm like, why am I still thinking about this moment? Like sometimes years later, about that random person that you had that really deep conversation with, but they do. They linger and they stick with you. And
sometimes you don't even get to remember their name or know them or connect with them, but you remember the moment, right? So this is what the song is about, is valuing a moment. So I'm feeling nervous pressing the play button, actually. Come on, give me some encouragement. Shall we do it? Okay.
Here we go.
It's country. It's also country, which is like why I'm playing it. Okay. So going back to your first song, you mentioned spontaneity. Let's be spontaneous. It's a 2-minute thing, and you're going to critique.
Seize the day, seize the moment.
All right. You're tuned into Kiwi Radio. Here we go. Oh, we're ready. Yeehaw!
I never knew the value of a moment, of a moment. You were the girl I used to know. You never tried to stop me evacuating was entertaining to you that I didn't know. Saving up all your lies, then tell me a nice surprise, a nice surprise. Packing up all my things, You were my favorite thing, you were my favorite thing. I never knew the value of a moment, of a moment. You were the girl I used to know. I can't remember echoes of your name, right in the flames, when you the girl I used to know. Caught me wandering way too far, was way too in. You were my favorite sin. Saving up all the lies, then tell me a nice surprise, a nice surprise. Packed up all my bags, You were my favorite thing, you were my favorite thing.
Kiwi Radio. We just played a new song. That was recorded. That was recorded this morning during my son's Paw Patrol session. So in about 2 takes.
So fresh.
So fresh.
Oh, that's so good.
Feels
How do
good.
you feel? Just let it out into the
I
world.
feel like you bopping in the background. It was like a seal of approval, but it was so fun seeing you bopping to the back because I felt good about it because the song's
catchy.
Thank you. The song's been sitting there for a while, but you know, it's old but new. So I can't explain it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and actually, the original back in the first demo was only a minute, so I managed to double the value there. So speaking of value,
You know what? It didn't feel like if you, unless you said, because you said before like 2:15.
yeah,
But I didn't feel like a super short song.
right.
Like I was like, yeah, felt like a good amount. Like it just suits the style.
Thank you. Well, 50s, I went to an Elvis impersonation kind of show where I am. And yeah, a lot of those songs are like 2.5 minutes. I don't know why. And why do you think that they're getting longer? But I don't know. What's your take on that? I mean, it's all trends anyway, right?
I don't know. I hear really mixed things. Like some people have said, if you want something to be played commercially, then don't write anything over 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
But for the most part, is 4.5 minutes. And I just think like no length is the right length.
No.
It's just it's up to the story of the song. Like if there's more to say and more to tell, then it requires a longer song.
Well, that song especially, I wanted it short because the value of a moment, the picture I had when writing it was you're literally packing your bags, but very like because your partner just told you on a whim that they're over. And it's kind of like, oh, what's going on? So it's all like very short space. But yeah, so anyways, that's the idea behind that.
I like this. Now it's got like a nice meaning behind the link.
For sure.
So poetic.
Thank you. Well, thanks for bopping up and down. That's fun because, that's fun. I haven't had this much fun in a while. Well, that's not true.
That was super catchy. I feel really, really lucky that you played it. So
Thank
good.
you. Well, there we go. From country singer to country singer, I feel like we exchange stories, and this is why country has always been a soft spot for me because it's all about the story.
Yeah,
and,
long live country. Long live.
Yo, where can people check you out live? You're in Auckland. Have you got anything planned?
So it's a bit I'm a segue in a way, but I am singing. I'm joining the cast of Club Burlesque.
What the?
I know.
Because you're the dancer.
I dance, yeah. So I will be dancing the show, but I'll also be performing as Murphy Moore. So that's really exciting. And that's every Friday night on K Road through mid-November to Christmas.
Yeah, for sure. I was lucky enough to say, "Will you marry me?" to a burlesque dancer. Not really a burlesque dancer; she's more circus dancer. But I've always
Oh, I
appreciated.
love.
Yeah, she does, and she does it for fun too. She's got her gals, and honestly, she's part of a gang
Mm,
because every time she's with her gals, she's got her hoodie on. They've all got their hoodies on, and I'm like, "Yo,
I love this.
my wife's joined the
I
gang."
must
Like,
meet your wife. I feel like we get along. She
yeah, for
sounds
sure.
cool.
But
She's got
yeah,
my seal of approval.
but what I'm saying is, the dance circle, as well as like the circus circle, is like some of the coolest people I've ever met. Like they're just so open minded and just
Truly,
it's just
yeah.
so cool. So
I
that's
think any
mhm.
sort of fringe arts are just, I think because they're normally quite niche, and you just have to love it so much to do it. So I think it attracts a really special type of person that's quite passionate. They're in it for the right reasons. You know, it's quite hard to make a living or be paid, or
Mhm.
so it is really a something that comes from the heart and something that makes your soul happy. So to me, I love, and like it sounds like you're the same, like love being around those people. I find them super inspiring, and they're just passionate, and I love
Yeah,
it.
there's like, I don't know if you're into this, but like there's a light to those kind of people. Like it's like my tribe. Like there's just the inviting light, right? So
Absolutely.
that's exciting. So every Friday night, Caro, you're doing your thing. So again, what's your gang called? I say gang, but
It's Club Burlesque
Club
is the
Burlesque.
show.
Club Burlesque is the
Yeah,
name of
so
the
I'll be singing
gang.
some tunes, yeah, with them, which
Ooh,
is going to be really cool. It's a nice test to do some new material. Actually, I'm really looking forward to it.
that's fun. That's fun. Oh, there's so many cool creative sides to Murphy Moore, not just a singer, but yeah, we're also very lucky to have this moment with you, and hopefully you'll return soon with your next batch of songs. You're always friends of the podcast, and I'm glad.
Oh, that's so nice. Honestly, I appreciate you having me on. It's been awesome.
We're gonna wrap up now, and but first, Rome is the next song. So please intro the song, tell us what it's about, all that fun stuff.
Rome is a fun, loving song that I wrote about. I wrote it when I was away from my family at the time, and I was kind of struggling with being overseas, and my lots of my siblings were having kids, and that's what made it really difficult to be away from home. Is when you kind of visit in these fleeting moments, and the kids have changed so much, and they don't know who you are, and I really battled with that. But I was also loving my life overseas, and so I wrote this song about never knowing that you're the person that maybe has to go and chase these crazy passions and be away for a bit. But whenever you come back, you feel so grounded, and you know that home isn't really a place, but it's more a feeling.
Wow, love that.
And yeah, that's what the song is about. It's about being away, but when you come back, you're like, oh, I'm so high. I feel so loved, and I know that as long as I have these people, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're very as people, we're very social, right? And so coming back to your speaking of tribe, it's the tribe, right? Coming back to that tribe. Awesome to
Always,
have
yeah.
you. Awesome to have you on the show. I hope
Thanks
you've
so
had.
much for having me.
I
It's been
hope
so
you've
fun.
had. Whoa, hang on, wrong button. I accidentally pressed the wait. I don't even know what that sound effect is. I think it's a record needle skipping. But yeah, Murphy Moore
Stop
is.
the moment.
Yeah, stop. Murphy Moore, you've been a lot of fun. Please catch up soon anytime. Flick me an email with latest tracks, press release, and all that. If you're in K Road, Friday nights is the jam with the burlesque thing. Please, maybe just follow Murphy Moore in general. A very interesting loss. And we hope you've had a lot of fun. We're going to sign off now. We're a few minutes past 8, but we did the perfect hour slot because, that's what we do. We'll be back. We'll be back next week with a really awesome and very young pop artist called Phoenix, PHNX, which was suggested to us by none other than his dad's friend, Canopia, who's also been part of the podcast. So this is, by the way, who's your favorite country singer? We have Stephanie Beck in the chat. She's been in the show. Maybe it's her, maybe it's Jenny Smith, maybe it's yourself. But give a shout out to someone that's upcoming in the country scene.
Oh, this is really challenging. Jenny Smith, if you're listening, I do love you.
Oh, I love that girl,
Your
man.
T-shirt song lives rent-free in my head all the time. I catch myself singing it.
Honestly,
Yeah, shout out to Jenny. You're
Jenny
amazing.
Smith is secretly just so down to earth, but super talented. I'll tell you what, she performed
She's
in my
amazing.
she performed in person in my studio, and you know what she bring? She bring homemade muffins, and I knew
Oh,
she was the jam because she did
that's
it.
so sweet.
She also did a TV show appearance, which I watched beforehand, and saw that she gave them muffins, and I'm like, well, if I invite her to the studio,
Do
for
I get
sure I'm going to get
muffins?
muffins, and she did. So yeah,
That's so sweet.
and she brought her boyfriend too.
Massive testament to her character right there.
And the fun thing about it, she brought her boyfriend who filmed like behind the scenes stuff. And it go check out her music video, which I've made a secret cameo called "In My Head," and there's some footage of
Are you
her.
in it?
Yes.
Oh,
If you have a look,
I'm gonna
In
have to
My
go back and
Head.
watch.
I also just dropped, that's one of my remixes, a synthwave remix of it. If you love, Stranger Things, it was inspired by that. But yeah,
Ooh.
this has been a lot of fun talking music to you. Let's do this again. Murphy Moore, New Zealand singer, songwriter, Break the Line is out now. Go check her out at Murphy-Moore with 2 O's, murphy-moore.com. Anything else before we cut to the last song?
Thanks so much for having me. It's been really fun and it's been nice to chat music.
Yeah, it's been super fun chatting music. You're a very talented, creative person, and we hope you stay cool, stay creative. Thanks for being on the show, Murphy.
Thanks for having me.
And
Bye.
bye. And that wraps up the show, everybody. All right, let's play some music. This is Murphy Moore with the track called Rome. Thanks for sticking around. You're tuned into Kiwiradio.nz. We showcase weekly artists every week. Tuesdays, 7 to 8 p.m. New Zealand time. I am your host, Ralphie, signing out. Goodbye, everybody.
Lately I've been waking up in some really beautiful places, and I've learned to love the stranger in me. Lately I've been going to sleep in some crazy destinations, but there's still so much more I want to see. This is the life I'm meant to live. This time is all I have to give. And I never thought I'd always be the one saying goodbye, but I know that every time I'm back I feel high. No, I'll never be alone, 'cause our place is not a home. It's a feeling in my bones, and I know I've got a soul that needs to roam. Lately I've been hanging out with some unfamiliar faces, and they teach me about the world they see. Sometimes I think about the ones that I am missing, but no matter how far I go, they're close to me. This is a life I'm meant to live. This time is all I have to give. And I never thought I'd always be the one saying goodbye, but I know that every time I'm back I feel high. No, I'll never be alone, 'cause our place is not a home. It's a feeling in my bones, and I know I've got a soul that needs to roam. I know that I am exactly where I'm meant to be. I know in time my dreams will walk along with my heartbeat. It's spinning round and standing still, so it's clear to see. Oh, that I never thought I'd always be the one saying goodbye, but I know that every time I'm back I feel high. No, I'll never be alone, 'cause the place is not a home. It's a feeling in my bones, and I know I've got a soul that needs to roam.
Kiwi Radio, that is the sign-off song for this episode. I feel like an hour is never enough to play all the songs we want. So you'll just have to stick around next week. There is so much cool music in New Zealand, and we'll be doing it each and every week. Phoenix up next, and thank you again to Murphy Moore. That is the show. We hope you all stay cool, stay creative. I'm going to be signing out right now. You take care. See you later. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.